Two girls, alone in their home, had an uninvited guest. One of them noticed a figure hovering in the doorway, the spectral upper body of a young girl from a bygone era, her antique dress hanging motionless in the air as she watched them with silent curiosity. Before her friend could see the apparition, a shout at the television startled the ghost, causing it to vanish. But it had not left. In a heartbeat, it reappeared at the top of the stairs, its gaze now fixed and intense. The girls fled in terror, stumbling into the street. From a distance, they watched in horror as the ghost girl glided past an upstairs window, only to instantly materialize behind the downstairs pane. Impossibly fast, proving it wasn't just watching them, it was following. Their screams were swallowed by the night as they ran for their lives. What began as a parody ghost hunt in an abandoned county jail became a chilling encounter with the real thing. YouTuber Junked Up Kitten and his crew, filming a mockumentary, wandered the decaying corridors with laughter and a video camera. But as Junked Up Kitten narrated his way past a grimy cell window, an unseen presence was waiting. It was only upon reviewing the footage that the terrifying truth was revealed. There, in the cold reflection of the glass, a face stared back from the other side. Its features were stark and colorless. A heavy brow, a pronounced nose, and hollow eyes set in a grim, expressionless mask. Its head was tilted in a silent, calculating gesture, materializing at the exact moment Junked Up Kitten dared to speak the words, "I'm looking for evidence of ghosts." It was no coincidence. It was an answer. A deliberate, chilling manifestation from a soul not just trapped within its cell, but screaming to be seen. We expect ghosts in forgotten places, but they often appear where we feel safest. In the stark light of a busy subway restaurant, a shadowy figure materialized among the living. It moved with human intention, approaching a table before its form collapsed into a swirling orb of pure darkness. A stunned employee recoiled in silent terror, but the entity paid no mind to the world of the living. The phantom orb drifted calmly to the window, lingering as if gazing out at a life it could no longer touch. Then, in a haunting ascent, it began to rise and shrink, compressing into nothingness until it vanished completely, leaving behind only the chilling evidence of its brief, impossible visit. The dead walk among us, not in the silence of night, but in the roar of the crowd. During a heated Brazilian soccer match, as thousands of fans cheered, a spectral intruder joined the game. A shadowy figure, moving with frantic purpose, burst into a full-speed sprint directly through the packed bleachers. It weaved through the crowd on an impossible path, a dark blur against the vibrant energy of the living. Yet, not a single person flinched. No one pulled their legs back, or even glanced up as the entity passed straight through them. Utterly consumed by the game, the crowd remained oblivious to the phantom sprinting in their midst. A ghost, forever trapped on its own lonely field, playing a game no one else can see. A simple game of catch in a British courtyard was shattered when one friend froze, pointing upward at a high window. There, a pale, spectral face stared down, its hollow gaze fixed upon them. For a heart-stopping moment, the sickly figure watched in silence before slipping back into the darkness without a sound. Spooked, the group confronted the property manager, only to be met with a chilling revelation. The room had been locked and abandoned for years. When the manager unlocked the door to prove it, they found only dust and emptiness. There was no furniture, no hiding place, and no logical explanation for the watcher in the window, leaving only the terrifying certainty that they had been seen by something that was never really there. Driven by rumors, Steve and Jake ventured into the woods one summer night seeking the abandoned chapel. Their courage faltered upon arrival, finding its walls scarred with desperate prayers and warnings. Ignoring the primal urge to flee, they slipped through a back entrance into the oppressive silence. The air was thick and cold, and every shadow felt like a presence. This was no empty ruin. It was a waiting place. Seeking refuge in a small maintenance closet, they heard it. a soft, haunting melody began to echo through the church. A phantom, hunched in black, was now playing the piano in the main hall. They burst from the closet and fled into the night, the music ceasing the moment they escaped. But the silence was worse. It meant the musician was no longer at the piano, it was following them. The camera cuts out as their screams are swallowed by the dark woods, a grim testament that at least one survived to tell the tale. In the heart of Sydney, the historic Carlisle Castle Hotel is home to a permanent resident far older than its foundations. Old Pete, a bitter former employee, never truly clocked out. His spectral presence is a force of chaotic energy, caught on tape hurling 2 bottles of high-end red wine from a cooler with violent intent, an impossible act with no one near the shelf. On another night, a crowded bar fell silent as a single wine glass hanging directly above a server unlatched itself to shatter on the counter in a rain of crystal, the timing too perfect to be anything but a message. The most chilling evidence emerged when the bar stood empty. Pete himself materialized before a security camera, his ghostly form coalescing from the static to offer a silent, mocking wave from the shadows. Bartenders tell of taps turning on by themselves and unsettling presences during late-night counts. The most telling detail of all? Every bottle he targets is a premium red wine, the very same vintage Old Pete favored in life, proving that some tastes, like some grudges, last for an eternity. Before we get to number 1, please subscribe to the channel for more daily scary videos. In 2008, a man returned home each day to a silent terror, his dogs trembling beneath the bed, refusing to emerge for more than a few seconds. Something unseen had shattered the peace of his home, its presence announced by violent, echoing bangs. Tracing the chaos to his attic, he found a scene of violation. Boxes overturned, possessions flung in a rage, but the entity was still there. A metal bucket clattered over on its own. The camera mysteriously shifted, and the man fled, leaving the intruder to its domain. Driven by paranoia, he began to record everything. His efforts captured a relentless haunting. A radio screamed to static as a spirit orb shot through the window. The attic door shook and swung open of its own accord. Just as a fragile calm returned, a paper towel roll launched across the room and the radio crackled back to life. The footage distorted as if the entity itself was passing by the lens. Its form never visible, but its violent, intelligent behavior forever seared into the digital record.